Hey guys, how you doing? I said I would make a little video about the workspace that I made, so here we go. This is the planning. I hope I'm able to keep it short. These things always tend to take longer than planned. But yeah, let's just start from the beginning. How you install Mason, and then go over the workflows, and then kind of show how I use it to sometimes do some preparation, then go into development, use some protocols, and then go into the testing workflow. And then I'll discuss some of my favorite protocols. So yeah, let's get into it. So first, the Mason instructions. I updated the README here to be a bit to be a little bit more clear. You can install it with Dart or with Brew. Mason is basically a templating package that I use for my flutter templates, but I can also very easily use it for this. So once you've done this, what you do is you make a workspace inside the project where you use Cursor. Now, I'm an IntelliJ user by nature, so what I usually do is I open my real project in IntelliJ and then open Cursor in kind of the mono repo folder that's that has all the context that I wanted to have. So for example, for this app that I'm working on for myself, I have Firebase and Flutter, and I put it all in a folder and I call it the mono repo, and then Cursor has all the context of all the files of all the project linked together. So that's pretty nice. So that's I already opened it here in Cursor. So this will be the mono, and this is the folder that I'm in right now. If we go to the terminal here, all we have to do is Mason make workspace, and then we'll ask for the folder name. It's default your workspace. Just press enter, and then it asks for all the documents. These are like optional. I'll activate them, and these are the protocols, the templates, the workflows, and the workflows, the more important ones. Then it starts installing them, actually just pasting them, and there you go. There they are, all the documents. All the like informational documents are in here, and then the Word documents will be in your root, because Cursor tends to like work from the root to find the documents, and if it's in the wrong folder, I notice it starts making these to-do lists and these milestones and stuff in folders, but should be making them when it already has like a Word document in the root or somewhere else. Alright, so next one, the planning workflow. So let's say hypothetically, this is the app that I'm working on, and let's say hypothetically I want to add a new feature, like totally from scratch, and I want to define it. So what I then do is I tell Cursor, please, I want to add confetti to the home view whenever a user logs in for the first time. Please specify the requirements, and then I link the document in your requirements, and then I also mention per planning. The planning workflow, and it will start populating your requirements in here with a little system that I made even before Cursor by using this template. The template is a bit more comprehensive and explains how things work, and then the requirements is just like a smaller version of that. I can see it's not really following the full rules. I would link the requirements template. They follow the rules. And then it starts doing that. 4 minutes in, alright, let's go. We'll let him get to that. So what the whole idea behind this, and kind of the whole way of talking to it, is that we have these objects, right? These wiki links that are all linked together, and I'm kind of guessing that that's easy to understand for the agent. and by linking everything together, it just keeps having references of what is what and what to do with what. And so in the same way it makes these requirements. At least it should make these requirements. Right, he did that. He, it, she, whatever. And now optionally we could say, well, make a ticket. I also have a ticket template to give it even more information. With some extra info like the user story and security rules. In my case, I work a lot with Firebase. Whatever. Just, okay, great. Now make your ticket. And what I usually do is I kind of skip this step because this comes from precursor, and usually I have enough with the requirements and the milestones. So what I want to do is translate the requirements to the milestones, and the milestones will be like these big milestones that we can test. So after a couple steps of development, we have a milestone to test whether those steps have been implemented correctly. That's the whole idea behind the milestones. And also to keep grasp on what it's doing, because I notice when you let it do too much without guidance, it starts going crazy. But just to demonstrate that, you know, it can make a cool ticket as well based on that stuff. And you can keep refining it if you want, of course. Yeah. Great, great. I totally agree. All right, now that we have the tickets and the requirements, I would say, okay, now make milestones that we can easily test in your milestones, and keep following the planning workflow. Just a quick tip, I also have snippets, so when I press the like this, it automatically adds the at before it, so I don't have to type that, because I'm getting really lazy. If I press shift, and it's just too much work, you know. And the same goes for all the other documents like the clicks and your. I do that with Alfred, so that's a cool little tip. The milestones, okay, so now it made milestones with BDD Gherkin test. Again, this is kind of my workflow, but if you want to make other tests or you know, populate the milestones with specific tasks or whatever, go about your way. The whole idea is that you have these milestones that you can test, and then per milestone you are going to do these development cycles with the agent, and that ensures that it knows exactly what to do. The task is not too specific, and we can keep control on like the changes that it makes in a I don't know the word, but in a controllable way. All right. So now we have the milestones. Not even reading it, but great. Now I have a command for this one. Please update your to-do with the first milestone. And also another command that I like to use. I kept referring to like with natural language. Please follow the workflow, but you can also say please follow the planning workflow. It has those instructions again. I'm kind of wondering though, like sometimes I feel like I would give it too much information, and it kind of backfires on me that I try to control too much. It's all like testing and finding out what works, right? I'm having a lot of fun with it. Right, so we got our first milestone. And we got all these tasks, and then it will ask, shall I implement it? Like, yeah, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Start with first task, and please follow the development workflow. Just to remind it, you know. Stick to the plan, please. Okay, so we did this. Pew, 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 pew. We have the development workflow. Yeah, so now it starts doing these things one milestone at a time. Let's say hypothetically this all works very well. And then at the end it would ask me to create tests, which also I'm kind of not really, like sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't, and then it starts making these tests that I didn't even ask for, and it makes a mistake in the test and it tries to correct the test, and then it keeps like trying to correct the test that isn't even supposed to succeed. It gets into this loop. I noticed that I spend the most time in Cursor fixing tests, and then come to realize that the test wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place, or just wasn't set up correctly. Let's just do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's just not do this. Okay. I don't know if it did something already. Okay. Alright, we are going to take a break. And then I say again, please update your to-do, because it often forgets how to it forgets to update its to-do. So it's good to remind it to do that. So it starts updating its to-do. That's so crazy. Ah, shit, I canceled all the changes. That's stupid. Alright. Anyway, so for testing, often I just explain this as if we were doing it. So when it starts making tests and it runs these tests, then what often happens is if it has too many tests, it wants to fix too many of them, and it just makes a mess out of things. So I have this, I don't know if I created it already. Please first. Oh, I haven't made a protocol out of it, but I usually ask it to just fix one test. I do know it's in the testing flow, testing workflow. Test workflow. I keep making this mistake. Workflow. This one. So here it says that it needs to find the first failing test and just fix that one, and then keep doing that until that succeeds, and then run all the tests and then continue with the next one. But yeah, again, sometimes this works very well. Sometimes it just doesn't listen to it. You need to keep reminding it, and then it just doesn't really work. So yeah, but that's the whole idea behind it. I mean, if it works, then it works very well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Alright, I hope I gave enough examples on kind of how to do the planning, the developing, and then sort of like testing. And some of my favorite protocols. Please analyze is a new one. So when it goes off rail, I ask it to, I think you're not focusing or something, say something like that, and then please analyze the current situation. Or I think you're in a loop or something. Please analyze the current situation. And then it just takes a step back, analyzes, put things in perspective, and then it starts focusing again. And sometimes what also really helps is that if you ask it to, what was it again? So he does the analysis, and then I'm not happy with it, and then I say, do it again and scan all relatable files until you have a solution of which you're 100% sure it works. Then it does it again. So are you 100% sure? If not, scan all the files, related files, and come back until you're 100% sure. And a couple times when I did it, it actually came up with the right solution after doing this a couple times. Like its initial idea wasn't good, but after doing it a couple times, it's kind of like forcing it to behave like the expensive 01 model. But yeah, it really worked. So that's one I really like. Please focus. So when it starts to go off rail again, I mean, that happens a lot, so I have many protocols to kind of get it back in focus. I'm just asking it to focus right now. I think it's gonna get mad at me. But that's a nice one. Again, another one, please stick to your prompt, same idea. And this one is really nice. Please pause your work. That's like, for example, if I'm going to bed or I want to start, whatever, I want to transfer this to a new agent. Say, please pause work. Then it puts all the context that it has into a document. At least it should. Right now, it puts it in the chat. The same, kind of the same is please transfer context. Yeah, so now it does. I think the please pause was an older one. So now it creates this document, and I have another protocol that says please resume work, I think, which asks the agent to check the transfer document, all the related, the files that are related to the project, all the work documents and stuff, and then asks it to resume the to-do list. Which is also nice if the agent starts to go haywire, and then often creating a new composer with the new context is a good idea. It's not. Oh wait, maybe it's cool if we do like create a new one. Yes. Please resume work. Ah, right. It was the pause one. See, now it starts looking for all the documents. To be honest, I made these protocols and I used it a couple times, but eventually I haven't really used them that much at all anymore. Like most of the time, I just go in there, say what I want, populate some requirements if needed, then populate the to-do and just get to working. And sometimes I don't even populate the to-do anymore. I just keep giving it commands with the Plix commands, and that also works. But I mean, for planning a feature really well, and at least give it some context on what you want, the requirements is really nice, the template. And yeah, all right, let's start working again. Please activate code red. That's one of my favorites. It's actually very much like the other ones, the please focus and the please stick to your prompts, but activate code red, it tells it to stop all work, stop doing everything, take a step back, come up with a solution, and kind of go into that research mode until it really has the solution. It works really well. Then I have a couple practical ones. So this one is for my packages and other things when I release and I made something and I want to release it. There's usually a couple steps involved, like updating the changelog, updating the pub spec with the version, and I don't know, do some other stuff. So at least for updating the README and the changelog, I made a command and it just starts scanning what was done. It looks at the Git, and then it kind of analyzes what should be in the README and in the changelog. It's not perfect, by the way. Sometimes it updates the version to a wrong version, and sometimes it takes just only the last commit or something. But I hope you realize just the idea behind it, and maybe you can perfect it for yourself. Same goes for please prepare release. So for me, at least, I work a lot in Dart and in Flutter. So preparing a release would involve like doing a format of the code, doing a analyze, and then applying some fixes and doing a dry run and stuff like that. Then it's all in there and it just does that for me. So that's a nice one. I think we already had this one. And then my last favorite of all time. This one is really cool. So, please ask Big Brother is like, I instructed to ask a smarter agent to help it with the solution it's trying to come up with. So whenever it's in like a loop or it's not able to work something out, I do this command. Please ask Big Brother. And then it instructs it to ask a smarter agent for a solution. And it should place it in your question. Place it in your question. Right. Your question is not there yet. Because it's not always necessary. Your big question. Oh, that was the one. So what you can do then is put this in, let's say, ChatGPT. And then you ask, the smarter model. And it comes up with a solution. And you paste that solution to the agent. And then they're working together. Whoop. Yeah, see, very good solution. So that's a cool one. I saw another one. Oh. Please ask. Yeah, please ask questions is also a good one. So again, when you notice it's not really doing what it's supposed to do, then please ask questions about what you need. Are you sure you have enough information? And it starts asking questions so you can help it. So yeah, that's kind of the little intro, 22 minutes. Yeah, to end it, I think a lot of these things won't really be useful for everyone, but it's the idea behind it and the way of working. I think that could be really helpful for a lot of people. They are using the agents, at least right now. Maybe we won't need any of these for in the next month. Who knows what happens and how things will evolve. But for now, I know it helps a lot with when things go wrong, at least. When it starts losing context and when it saves a lot of time if you want it to behave in a certain way. A lot of times, just put in a protocol and link the document. A couple last things. Code of conduct. It's kind of instructions on how I do things. A little bit different from protocols. Protocols have this way of talking, right? This Gherkin style of talking with these wiki links, and how we do stuff is usually just like a normal documentation. Concepts is also something I was playing with, just to link certain concepts really quickly without giving it too much information. Kind of how do you say that in English? Kind of came from the idea that kind of came from the, how do you say, well, my English, it's getting late, then my English is from the hunch that it sometimes has too much information, so I started making these little blocks of information to kind of reduce the overhead. That was the idea behind the concepts, also the objects. Yeah, anyway, so I hope this video helped a little bit. I'm curious to see what other people come up with. And yeah. See you next time.